everyone. Welcome to the Circle of Light weekly meditation. It is Wednesday, December 29th, and it's a beautiful season. It's a beautiful time these days, this time after the winter solstice, after Christmas. I decided to vary it up a little bit and put the Christmas tree behind us, which we still have up. And and tomorrow is my birthday. I'll be 44, which is a cool number, an angel number. I used to always not like that my birthday was in between Christmas and New Year's because I would get double, joint presents. But now I really like it because it's always, time off, and I get to be with my. I've always, taken the day off. I never work on my birthday. I don't remember if I ever have. I don't think I ever have. And I get to be with my family, and just we take a trip to a different place. So what I do every year is I go somewhere different, to a town I've never been to before, and it's always just an adventure. We go out to eat, we'll go snowshoeing tomorrow, go somewhere. Um, and so I've had a nice, I hope you all had a relatively enjoyable Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. If you didn't get together with friends and family, hopefully you're still enjoying this time of just this really powerful light that is around us. Um, you know, it's weird, obviously. How when is it not a weird time with this constant, pressure of dark things floating up to the surface, with a never-ending quote pandemic that just it's like never goes away. It's like a bad song that gets stuck in your head and never goes out. Um, but if we can kind of just ignore all that for a little while, knowing that some people are sick and that is you know heartbreaking and sad, and we hope that they can heal. I certainly went through that myself, as you all know. But that there's also this higher reason, there's a higher purpose, and our souls chose to be here during this time, knowing that we would be going through this massive shift in consciousness. So, the gift, and then we have Jesus, right? Then we have this season of light of Christmas, and there's a lot of conflicting ideas out there about Jesus, about his birth, if he was actually born around this time of the year. I've been reading this fascinating book by Sylvia Browne, who's one of those, like one of the old school psychics, like way back before anybody, and probably she was mocked, I'm sure. But she has a few different books about Jesus and about secrets and mysteries, and she says, and I've heard this in many other places, and I'll share it here. It's controversial, but that Jesus did not actually die on the cross, that he survived, or that it was like this cover up. And then he went on and lived in France and married Mary Magdalene, and they had kids together and lived the rest of their lives out in France. So would travel around to different places incognito, at least he would, it's fascinating. So anyway, however you perceive of this time, I feel, and a lot of us feel, that there's something really powerful and special in the energy of the air, and I call it just the Christed light, and it is this very powerful, just healing energy, and it's like the here in Maine, the snow. We've been lucky enough to have snow, and it's just beautiful, just quiet, peaceful. I went for a cross country ski today, and it's just a stillness and peace that you can't really describe. You can't really put your finger on, but it is the energy. Um, and there's so much evidence out there about Jesus, and about there's all kinds of cover-ups by the certain church, the Roman Catholic Church, that deleted things out of the Bible, that took books out of the Bible, the Book of Thomas, the Book of Mary Magdalene, and that skewed things so that we would not think that we would not know the truth about Jesus. So I have to be careful what I say, because people can get offended by this, but I'm just going to share what I feel to be true and what I don't feel to be true about Jesus and about this Christed light. And when I've connected with Jesus's energy, what I've picked up on is that he wants us to not to worship him, that he wants to teach us how to be like him. And that's where been tricked, because we've been taught that Jesus is this like amazing performer of miracles that is like a god that we could never be like, that we're just, there's no way that we would ever be like that. When I don't believe that was the message he wanted to teach. He actually wanted us to learn how to do those exact things that he did. And as I say that, I just feel this deep resonance even coming through, which is, his message was skewed. So it's up to us to really uncover the truth. Some of the truth is hidden in the Bible. It's there. There's a lot of metaphors, and there's some truth, and then some of it has been taken out and manipulated, as we know. So there's probably more I'm going to be saying about Jesus in particular, because I think it's not today, but in the coming days, because I think weeks, months, because it feels very important to me. Maybe that's just my personal interest, but I think there's a lot. I mean, with this shift in consciousness to 5D, to higher, dimensions of light that we're all expanding into. In my view, and this, I'm not a religious person. I don't go to church. I don't believe in organized religion. Um, it's there's people can sometimes take this to be the wrong way, right? You got to be careful about everything you say these days. I don't believe there is any other being. Maybe there were some that came pretty close. Buddha, Yogananda, a lot of other ascended masters. Any other human that walked this earth that did quite what Jesus did. So, having said that, there's this light that's around us that is this very powerful Christed light, and it literally is a grid that is being built. It's called, the Christ consciousness grid. And so when you hear about Christ consciousness, like, well, what does that mean? Well, it is that type of light, this embodiment of, a human who expressed this divine energy. And what is, that Christ consciousness is really for us to step into, for us to do the exact same thing, just like ascended masters like Jesus did. There, obviously Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary. There's so many other ascended masters who've incarnated in human bodies, the Buddha and all the different incarnations of Buddha. So, take what you will from all that. And I think even hearing about Jesus, some people, there's so much religious programming that a lot of us have that we kind of shut off to the even the word Jesus, or because it's been bombarded in our brains in different ways, in negative ways. But if we can just try to, I would say go outside and just connect with light, and maybe it's Jesus, maybe it's not. Doesn't really matter, honestly. It's just to feel that light flowing in your body. And sometimes we have to kind of try a little bit. We have to say, you can go outside and look at the sun, but just be worrying about things, right? And not actually be connecting. So just the intention, I want to connect with something. I want to connect, just setting that intention in your mind, asking, help me to open my heart to what is here for me, what is loving and here for me. And then just wait and just notice what floats in your mind. Is there a color? Is there a message? Maybe you can, if you want to pick up on a being, like a divine being of light, whether that's somebody like Jesus or an angel or whoever or whatever, based in love, right? Make sure you put that intention in there. You can just notice what seems to show up. You might be very, very interested to see what comes when you do that. And then just go sit with that feeling, with that intention. What is the message that's here for me? And so when you ask these questions, literally ask that question in your mind, you're opening the door to then allow whatever it is to come in, to be received. So, and then when we do that, that's how we start to raise our vibration. That's how we start to come into that Christ consciousness, which is what we're being asked to do right now. We're being given all kinds of opportunities to practice forgiveness, compassion, empathy. Way easier said than done for people who are making it difficult. We feel like it's very difficult to practice forgiveness and compassion, empathy for people who are literally yelling at us, blaming us, condemning, judging, ostracizing, like all kinds of that stuff. All kinds of that stuff, which is exactly what they did. Similar, not exactly, but similar to what they did to Jesus. They wanted him dead because it was so radical. It's not, it's basically like the same types of things happening. Unconscious people, asleep people who are afraid, right? And who lash out against light and truth. So, as Jesus said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. I say that all the time. I don't use the word Father because that seems a little patriarchal to me, but forgive them, for they know not what they do. That's just like constantly in my brain. And it helps me when I get triggered and, frustrated or angry with some people, right? And just, certainly the news and like the latest things that are coming up in the news. Again, that's designed to trigger us. That's why they're doing it. They want us to get angry. They want us to stay in fear. But if we can say, okay, I see what's happening here, and actually the most powerful tool that I have to rise above all of this is be like, okay, that's fine. You can do that. It doesn't bother me. I still love you. Right? And they're like, no, you can't love me. That's not, no. And we want to fight back. And this doesn't mean that we sit there and get pummeled with abuse, right? We walk away from that. But it's love is the way. Love is the tool that clears all that other stuff away. That's what the Christed light is about. That's what we're bringing us to do. So let's do a little meditation to bring this in. This is just going to be a short one. So you can close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Slow exhale. Another deep, full breath. And just feel light coming into your body, expanding in your heart. Slowly exhale out. Last inhale, begin to amplify the light even more, as if you're just expanding this beautiful flame when you breathe in your heart. And as you exhale, imagine that flame and that light spreading through your body. And begin to just observe the breath flowing in and flowing out. Just coming into a place of centeredness in your body. And begin to connect more deeply with that light. Just for now, just imagine that as you're breathing in, you're like breathing into the lungs of your heart, which kind of like one of those bellows that like these old things that would use to put oxygen on a fire. Just expand that like an accordion, just expand your breath and make it become light. And as you exhale, imagine that light just flowing through your body. And begin to connect with the energy of source, of creator energy, which is God, however you perceive of the source of all that is. And that Jesus of Nazareth, however you want to call him, Jesus Christ, he was simply one embodiment of that light. And he developed the abilities to more fully embody that light than most humans have been able to do. And he was a teacher, and as a teacher, he wanted us to learn to emulate him. And others who also walked the earth, like the Buddha, like Saint Germain, like Joan of Arc, like other saints, like Mary Magdalene. And all of these divine or humans who became divine, they were all embodying that source energy, expressing that source energy. So in this moment, just begin to imagine, what would it be like? What would it feel like if I too were to embody the energy of all that is, of the I am presence of the Most High, of God? What would that feel like to me? And just take a moment. What would that feel like? How would I be in my life? How would I respond to others? How would I spend my time? What would I do? Where would I go? You may have some images or feelings or words popping up. It's about unconditional love. What would it be like to have unconditional love first for myself, to fully love and accept myself, and then to have that unconditional love for others? Can you even imagine what that would feel like to live in that reality? You may feel your heart just opening and just feel this sense of lightness, this is a liberation, of peace, of freedom, of trust, of being in the flow, of just serenity. The Bodhisattva, not phased, accepting. And this is about working with your thoughts and your emotions and having a pure heart and trusting that you are always being divinely guided. Just imagine what this would be like, what this would feel like. What would your life be like? How would your life be different? What would your relationships be like? How would they be different? You probably would be spending time outdoors or connecting with the earth, more with animals, maybe just pursuing what brings you joy. Maybe you would be connecting more with people that you really enjoy being with, that fuel your soul. Maybe you'd be spending more time alone in solitude. Maybe it's all of the above. You would be allowing in more joy, giving yourself permission to experience joy, to have fun. You would be of service to others, helping others, yet also always honoring your own boundaries and your own truth and being in your sovereignty and being strong in who you are, unwavering. This to me is the embodiment of the Christed light, of the expression of unconditional love, pure presence, of source energy of God. And this is how we move into 5D consciousness. So just imagine that you're stepping fully into this new you, this Christ consciousness grid that you're integrating into yourself. And from this moment forward, you operate in this new light, in this full expansion of your light body, setting that as an intention for yourself. Of course, you're still human. You feel emotions, you feel anger sometimes, you feel all of those negative things, but you transmute them. You know how to clear them, you know how to process them, you know how to release them, and you know how to open your heart to receiving light and to being in the state of love most of the time. And set this as intention for the new year. Even though we can always set intentions, you don't need to wait for the new year to do it. Let's bring our hands in prayer position to the heart center, over your heart, wherever feels right to you, just anchoring this in, giving thanks. I'll give you a moment to just silently give thanks, to silently say a prayer for what you seek, asking and receiving. Take a deep breath, wrap yourself in light, even give yourself a hug. And you can begin to open your eyes. So I hope that was helpful in some way, and I hope you felt some of the energy from all that is around us right now. This is very powerful ascension energy, not just now, but around the winter solstice and through the rest of 2021. Certainly in 2022, there's just anytime there's darkness or there's things that are coming up that we hear about that we feel triggered by, we get scared, we get angry. Just remember that the darkness is simply a mirror. It's a polarity of the light. So the light must be clearly very strong, because otherwise the darkness, the shadows, would not be surfacing so much either. And remember that the media is designed to do that. That's what they do. There's some light sometimes that comes through. But I encourage you to just remember, it's all just illusions. It's all just smoke and mirrors. It's not reality. The reality is this light. This is what's happening. This is real. This is what we're feeling. And just keep your eyes on that prize. Keep your eyes on where we're going, because it's already happening. It's very exciting. All right. Thanks for being here. Wishing you all a blessed evening and new year, and basking in this powerful energy. Take care. Bye.